After an unexpected amnesia accident, I suddenly ended up with 4 stunning girlfriends. Surrounding my hospital bed were 4 breathtakingly beautiful faces, each one insisting she was my lover. A cold as ice female CEO, a top-tier superstar adored by millions, a gentle, empathetic female doctor, and one girl who looked oddly familiar, yet unbelievably sweet and obedient. My head started buzzing, watching them argue fiercely over who would stay to keep watch overnight. A perfect plan suddenly flashed through my mind. Since you all said so yourselves, then I might as well forget everything completely and be done with it. The sharp smell of disinfectant rushed straight to my brain. I abruptly opened my eyes. My vision slowly sharpened. What met my gaze was the stark white ceiling of the hospital room. My head throbbed like it had been split by an axe. It felt as if a truck had just rolled over me. Every muscle screamed in agony. "Where am I?" I croaked, struggling to prop myself up. Instantly, 4 intense gazes shot toward me in unison, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. 4 stunning beauties, each with a completely distinct aura. They looked at me with every shade of emotion, from worry and scrutiny to complicated loathing. My head exploded with a boom. A flood of memories that weren't mine surged in like a tidal wave. My name is Ethan Ju. In my previous life, I was just an ordinary wage slave. Last night I was still holed up in my rented room, binge reading a brainless power fantasy novel. Right at the peak of excitement, I mocked the side character who shared my name, saying the male lead was both dumb and annoyingly sweet. Then my vision went black. When I opened my eyes again, I'd transmigrated into the top heir of that very book, holding a $1 trillion fortune, with looks and physique straight out of the top-tier category. Yet the original owner was a hopeless, romantic fool. Chasing after the green tea female led, he ruined himself completely, body and reputation. In the end, enemies set him up in a business war, causing a horrific car crash, leaving him lying here, broken. And the 4 beauties before me were precisely the women who'd had ambiguous entanglements with him in the story. The one, standing closest on my left, dressed in a high-end tailored suit, her aura cold as frozen snow, her eyes filled with unconcealed contempt. Grace Liu, CEO of the Liu Corporation. Also my arranged fiancé from a perfectly matched family alliance. A business genius, but utterly clueless in real life. Raised strictly as a true heir since childhood, she utterly despised spoiled playboys. Like the original owner, who only knew how to waste money and fool around. Beside her stood someone in head-to-toe Chanel, sunglasses on, even in the hospital, exuding an air of pure luxury. Ava Shen, the rising A-list actress, who the original owner had bought her way to the top with cash, always portraying to the public that young Master Gu was madly in love with her, hopelessly addicted. On the right side, the one in a white coat with a soft, worried expression, was the attending physician at this private hospital, Sophia Lai. Every time the original owner partied himself sick, she was the one cleaning up the mess. Over time, a subtle, unnamed affection had quietly bloomed between them, and the one standing farthest in the shadows, in a simple yet elegant dress, quietly there, with wide innocent doe eyes, carrying timid concern. Bella Bai, the true female lead of this novel, the one with the most terrifying family background, her clan's power far surpassing even the Lias. Yet she lived with extreme humility. The original owner was engaged to her, but blind to it, spending all his days chasing wildflowers on the roadside. Once the memories fused, only one thought remained in my mind, so exhausting: just destroy it all. I had zero interest in those face-slapping toxic romance plots, even less desire to tangle with these women. All I wanted was to lie low, and enjoy that $1 trillion fortune. 8-pack abs, luxury villas, gourmet food, and a top-tier wine cellar too. Wasn't that way more blissful than fighting in business or romance wars? Ethan Gu, you're awake? Grace Liu spoke first, her voice as icy as her personality. The doctor said your brain took a hard hit. There might be lasting effects. Not a trace of genuine concern in her eyes, only cold calculation, as if appraising a damaged product to see how much value was left. Ava Shen removed her sunglasses, forcing out a few crocodile tears. Ethan, darling, you scared me to death. If anything happened to you, how could I go on living? Her fake acting was so cringeworthy, I wanted to sink into the floor for her. Sophia Lee stepped forward, holding the pupil check tool, her voice gentle. Mr. Gu, how are you feeling right now? Is anything uncomfortable? I ignored them completely. My gaze swept over the group, landing on Bella Bai, standing in the corner. She froze when I stared, her small face flushed pink, fidgeting, clutching the hem of her dress. That's the one, the novel said. Bella Bai was the only one truly kind to the original owner, the strongest background, the gentlest personality, and her looks perfectly my type. Truly, the ideal partner for lying low together. As for Grace Liu, that workaholic type, being near her would probably tire me out more than actual work. Ava Shen was out of the question, just using me, and obnoxiously loud too. Sophia Lee was sweet, but ordinary family, easy prey, in high society. I had no time for those headaches. A flawless plan formed instantly in my head. I looked at the 4 women before me, my face showing just the right amount of confusion and bewilderment. Who are you all? I blinked innocently, my expression utterly guileless and pitiful. Who am I? The air froze solid. 4 pairs of beautiful eyes widened in shock, pure horror on their faces. Grace Liu frowned tightly, her sharp gaze like it could pierce right through me. Ethan Gu, what game are you playing now? Ava Shen forgot her tears instantly. Ethan, don't scare me like that. You don't recognize me? It's Ava. Sophia Lee reacted fastest, immediately, grabbing the specialized flashlight, checking my eyes again, her expression gradually turning grave. The patient may have suffered severe brain trauma, leading to temporary amnesia. I silently gave this doctor a heart emoji in my mind. Truly a god-tier assist. Amnesia was the classic move. Grace Liu gave a faint, mocking laugh, arms crossed over her chest. You think I'd fall for this cheap soap opera script? I didn't even glance at her, only timidly looking at Sophia Lee, looking exactly like a frightened baby bunny. Dr. Sis, I really can't remember anything. My head hurts so much. I clutched my head, playing the pained role to perfection. Bella Bai finally couldn't hold back and stepped forward. She spoke softly. Everyone, please don't pressure him anymore. He looks like he's in a lot of pain. Doctor, does he really have amnesia? Her voice sweet and soft, like cotton candy, soothing to the soul. Sophia Lee nodded seriously. Physiologically, it doesn't seem like he's faking. But for a full diagnosis, we need comprehensive brain scans. Grace Liu opened her mouth to say more. But, seeing my pale face and pained expression, she ultimately swallowed her words. Meanwhile, Ava Shen had already sniffed out fresh content for clout, quickly pulling out her phone, probably texting her manager. The corner of her mouth even curved in a barely noticeable smile. Perfect. Everything was firmly in my grasp. Amnesia was the ultimate weapon to sever all past entanglements, opening the door to a life of pure blissful slacking. Look at their varied expressions. And me, the only one who knew the full script, lazily savoring this grand drama staged just for me. This feeling, pure ecstasy stretched out long. If he's really lost his memory, then let me stay tonight to take care of him. Ava Shen was first to claim the spotlight, acting like she was the legitimate main wife. Grace Liu shot her a cold glance. You know how to take care of someone. You'd probably drive him crazy with all your noise. I'll stay. CEO Liu, you're a busy tycoon with a million things to handle. Wouldn't staying here be a total waste of your talents? Besides, aren't you the one who looks down on Ethan the most? Ava Shen fired back without missing a beat. I'm his fiancée. Taking care of him is my responsibility. Grace Liu pulled out the fiancé card to dominate it. Ava Shen laughed dramatically. Just a fiancé on the verge of being dumped. That's all. Everyone knows that. The two of them bickered fiercely, the room thick with gunpowder. Sophia Lee stood by trying to mediate. Ladies, the patient needs quiet rest. This is affecting him. I lay on the bed, eyes closed, pretending to be weak. But inside, flags were waving in celebration. Keep arguing. The fiercer, the better. That way, none of you will have time to bother me. Right then, a timid, soft voice spoke up. Let me stay. It was Bella Bai. All eyes snapped to her. She looked anxious, fingers twisting the hem of her dress, quietly saying, I can cook some light, nutritious meals, and I know a bit about basic caregiving too. I'm sure I can take good care of him. Grace Liu and Ava Shen frowned in unison. Clearly, no one took this seemingly harmless little white bunny seriously. Grace Liu eyed her suspiciously. And you are? Before Bella could answer, I spoke first. I slowly opened my eyes, my gaze landing with pinpoint accuracy on Bella Bai. With complete trust and familiarity. Sis, I feel like I've met you somewhere before. It was pure improvisation. But I knew damn well. This line was nuclear level effective. Sure enough, Bella froze for 5 full seconds. Her small face instantly flushed crimson, like a ripe, juicy apple. The other three's expressions shifted in wildly different ways. Grace Liu's icy mask cracked for the first time, her eyes full of disbelief. Ava Shen's jaw dropped so wide you could fit an egg in. Sophia Lee's gentle look froze solid. Exactly the kind of mind-blowing confusion I wanted to create. I really do have amnesia, but the only faint impression left is with you alone. What does that mean? It means in my subconscious, you're the most special existence. This was an unbeatable move. No woman could resist. You really remember me? Bella stammered, eyes sparkling with hope. I half shook, half nodded. Not clearly, just, you feel so familiar. As I spoke, I reached out toward her, like a child seeking shelter. Bella's heart melted instantly. She hurried to the bedside, gently taking my hand. Her hand so soft and warm. Don't be afraid, I'll stay right here with you, she soothed gently. I naturally tightened my grip on her hand. Then, shot Grace Liu a provocative glance. At that moment, Grace Liu's face, hard to look at, didn't even begin to cover it. More like storm clouds blotting out the sky. She stared at our intertwined hands, her gaze cold enough to freeze the entire room. She couldn't comprehend how someone who'd once chased her heels and licked her bootsu, after losing his memory, would want to be close to anyone but her firstie. This loss of control, for someone with her extreme need for dominance, was absolute torture. And me? My goal was precisely to savor her frustrated, powerless expression. Ava Shen was fuming, sparks practically flying from her eyes. But she was cunning. She knew causing a scene now would only make me hate her more. She stomped her foot, full of reluctance. Fine then. If Ethan chose you, then you'd better take good care of him. With that, she stormed out on her high heels. I'll come visit you tomorrow. Her heels clacked loudly as she left. Grace Liu gave me one deep, lingering look. Her eyes, a storm of complexity, anger, confusion, and a hint of worry she herself didn't notice. Rest well. With those 4 words, she turned and walked out. The hospital room finally returned to peace, leaving only me, Bella, and Sophia Lee, who'd been background scenery all along. Sophia Lee glanced at our clasped hands, a flicker of disappointment in her eyes, but she quickly regained her professionalism. Miss Bai, then, please take care of Mr. G. If anything comes up, just ring for me. Yes, thank you, Dr. Li. Bella replied politely. After Sophia left, the room fell silent. I could smell a faint, gentle fragrance from Bella, like pure gardenia, clean and fresh. Smells nice. I pretended to be tired, closing my eyes, but refusing to let go of her hand. I felt her body stiffen slightly, yet she didn't pull away. A moment later, I heard her whisper, almost to herself, or perhaps to me, "Ethan Gu, do you really not remember who I am?" I didn't answer, just smiled secretly in my dream. The clowns had all retreated. Now it was playtime for the hunter and the little rabbit. The next day I checked out. Grace Liu and Ava Shen showed up bright and early, arguing again over who would take me home. Grace insisted on bringing me to the Liu family, claiming as fiancée she had supervisory duty. Ava wanted to take me to her villa, saying she could care for me better. Watching them bicker, they looked like 2 peacocks fanning their tails, loud and ridiculous. Attending physician Sophia Lee arrived too, handing me the discharge papers, gently reminding, "Mr. Gu, your body still needs quiet recovery. Returning to a familiar environment would help with memory restoration." Another brilliant assist. I immediately latched on to the excuse, looking at them with innocent, slightly dazed eyes. I want to go home. My own home. Both Grace Liu and Ava Shen froze. They'd been so focused on controlling me and their territory, they forgot this master owned dozens of luxury villas. "But you'll be alone." Bella looked worried. I turned to her instantly, voice full of dependence. "Sis, can you come home with me?" Bella blushed again. She glanced at Grace Liu. Hesitant, I pressed the attack, putting on my most pitiful look. "Right now I don't remember anyone. I only trust you." That line was for Bella, but really aimed straight at Grace Liu's heart. Grace's face darkened, the air pressure around her terrifyingly low. Bella softened, finally nodding in agreement. And so, under the fiery glares of Grace Liu and Ava Shen, I held Bella's hand, stepped into the waiting Rolls-Royce Phantom. Beside the door stood an elderly butler in impeccable tailcoat, hair perfectly combed, not a strand out of place. "Welcome home, young master." Uncle Zhang respectfully opened the door for me. Uncle Zhang was an old retainer of the Jiu family, the original owner's most loyal subordinate. With him here, my grand lie low plan was already half successful. "Uncle Zhang." I settled into the car, turning to instruct him, "From now on, handle all my affairs with full authority. I'm tired. I just want to rest." Uncle Zhang paused briefly, then smiled meaningfully. Understood. Of course he understood. The previous young master had been an energetic spendthrift, always causing scandals outside. Uncle Zhang barely kept up with the cleanup. Now this amnesiac young master only wanted to lie low, handing everything over to him. How could he not be thrilled? As long as he controlled the big picture. It was the easiest high-salary job in the world. The car glided smoothly toward the Jiu family estate. Bella sat beside me, looking a little restless. "Ethan, do you really not remember anything? Even your own home?" I shook my head, looking straight into her eyes, seriously asking, "Sis, what's your name?" "I'm Bella Bai." "Bella." I softly repeated her name, then smiled. Such a pretty name. Bella's cheeks flushed like pink clouds. She shyly lowered her head. I said nothing more, closed my eyes to rest. But in my mind, sketching the grand blueprint for my life of leisure. Gym time was a must. Those 8-pack abs and mermaid lines from the original body, waste not to maintain. Gourmet food essential too. All 8 major Chinese cuisines, I'd devour them all. Fine liquor needed preparing. The novel mentioned the Jiu family had its own cellar. Everything from baijiu to rice wine to fine vintages, though I wasn't big on those fancy reds. As for women, I glanced at Bella beside me. Stunningly beautiful, gentle personality, clean family background, powerful clan support, enough to block countless troubles for me. Most importantly, she was so obedient, wouldn't disturb my peace. Truly, the perfect companion for a life of slacking. The car entered a vast estate, stopping before a grand, castle-like building. Is this my house? I helped Bella out. Uncle Zhang had everything arranged. Young master, your room has been redecorated to your tastes. And this is Miss Bai, correct? The guest room is prepared. No need for the guest room. She'll stay with me. Both Uncle Zhang and Bella froze, her face instantly red as a ripe persimmon. Stammering, no, that won't do, Wei. I put on an innocent look. Why not? I get scared sleeping alone. Didn't you promise to stay by my side? I fully exploited the amnesiac patient lacking security card, leaving Bella speechless, her small face cycling through red, pale, red again. Finally, she could only murmur like a mosquito. Okay. I secretly grinned. Deal sealed. Right then, my phone rang. Uncle Zhang handed it over. I glanced. Screen showing. Grace Liu. I directly hit reject. Tossed the phone back to Uncle Zhang. From now on, blacklist all unknown numbers. Understood, young master. Uncle Zhang nodded with perfect telepathy. In another car not far away, Grace Liu listened to the busy tone from the other end, her fingers gripping the steering wheel, turning white. She couldn't fathom why everything had spiraled out of control. The man who'd once prioritized her number, who'd reply to her messages in seconds, now dared hang up on her without mercy. Moreover, he brought another woman home. A never-before-felt rage and panic swamped her heart. And so my life of blissful slacking officially began, sleeping until naturally awake every day, a bit of gym, then leisurely strolling the estate. Uncle Zhang handled everything flawlessly. Mornings, Cantonese dim sum tea. Lunch, authentic spicy Sichuan. Dinner, delicate Huaiyang dishes. Come afternoon tea time. Uncle Zhang prepared my favorite homemade rice wine, with light snacks. Relaxing in the garden pavilion amid flowers, blink, and the afternoon was gone. This immortal life, I wouldn't trade it even for an emperor's throne. At first, Bella was very reserved, but gradually relaxed. She discovered I truly didn't care about worldly affairs. Just eating and playing all day, basically a useless bum. Yet this bum had an inexplicable charm. When I worked out, she'd rest her chin, quietly watching. Occasionally when I did pull-ups, my shirt riding up, revealing abs and that seductive V-line, her cheeks would softly blush. When I enjoyed gourmet meals, she'd curiously ask about each cuisine's specialties, eyes full of admiration. When I poured and sipped wine myself, she'd sit opposite, listening to my stories about liquor lore. She grew more and more curious about me, and closer. Ethan, your abs, can I touch them? That afternoon, after finishing a chest session in the gym, sweat trailing down my defined muscles, Bella handed me a towel, her sparkling eyes fixed on my stomach, finally gathering courage to ask. I smiled lightly, took her hand and pressed it directly to my abs. Check the results yourself. Her hand trembled like she'd been shocked. face flushing to her ears. The firm texture and warm sensation, from palm to brain, completely short-circuiting her thoughts. Well, up to standard? I leaned to her ear, voice low, her mind blank. She just dumbly nodded. Seeing her pure, adorable reaction, my heart suddenly itched, strangely. Truly the novel's female lead, the purest angel. I was about to steal a kiss in the moment, when my phone buzzed in my pocket. Uncle Zhang approached, holding it. "Young master, it's Miss Liu." Again, Grace Liu. This woman had been calling like crazy lately, 800 times a day. "Hang up," I waved impatiently. "Young master." Miss Liu said if you don't answer she'll come to the door herself. "Let her come." I smirked. I wanted to see what she planned to pull. Half an hour later, a blazing red Ferrari executed a perfect smoky drift and screeched to a stop at the villa gate. Grace Liu, in a tight black outfit, striding in on killer heels, radiating Queen of Millions energy. The moment she entered, she faced me and Bella. I'd just showered, upper body bare, only a towel around my waist, hair still dripping, while Bella held the hairdryer, carefully drying my hair with utmost focus. The scene warm yet reeking of affair. Grace Liu's pupils contracted. Her trademark calm composure shattered instantly. "Ethan Gu." She practically gritted my name. "What the hell are you doing?" I lazily glanced at her, deliberately nuzzling my head against Bella's neck. "As you can see, just enjoying life." Bella froze under my action, face scarlet, like it might bleed, holding the dryer, hands and feet nowhere to go. "Enjoying life." Grace Liu laughed in fury. "Ethan Gu, do you know, your company Apex Tech is on the verge of being acquired? Competitors have driven the price to rock bottom. If you don't act, it'll change hands immediately." I remembered. Yes, the novel had this plot. Originally, Grace's rivals move to acquire Apex and strike at Liu family assets. The original owner, wanting to show off to Grace, jumped in personally, got spun like a top, ultimately needing Grace to step in and resolve it, which only deepened her contempt for him. "So what?" I yawned long, looking utterly indifferent. Grace stared in disbelief. "That's your company. The one you worked so hard to build." I sneered inwardly. That was the original owner's blood and sweat. What the hell did it have to do with me? "Then just sell the damn thing," I said, calmly. Grace trembled with rage. "You're truly hopeless. Do you know how many people's hearts and souls are in that company? And you just abandon it so easily. Or what?" I shot back. "I have amnesia. I don't know anything. Dealing with complicated company crap is exhausting. Sell it, take the money, and keep slacking in bliss. Wouldn't that be better?" My lie-flat declaration completely demolished Grace Liu's mental defenses. She'd always thought, even if stubborn, Ethan cared about his own creation. But now, I chose to let go. Grace stared in disbelief. "That's your company? The one you worked so hard to build?" I sneered inwardly. That was the original owner's blood and sweat. What the hell did it have to do with me? "Then just sell the damn thing," I said, calmly. Grace trembled. "You're truly a family-destroying waste. Do you know how many people's hearts and souls are in that company? And you just abandon it so easily. Or what?" I shot back. "I have amnesia. I don't know anything. Dealing with complicated company crap is exhausting. Sell it, take the money, and keep slacking in bliss. Wouldn't that be better?" My lie-flat declaration completely demolished Grace Liu's mental defenses. She'd always thought, even if stubborn, he'd still have some attachment to the company he founded himself. She came this time expecting me desperate, beaten. Then she'd appear as the savior, making me deeply grateful. But she never dreamed I'd refused to follow the script. I chose outright abandonment. You're beyond saving. She pointed at my face, too furious for words. I ignored her, turning to Uncle Zhang. Uncle Zhang, see the guest out. If Miss Liu comes again, block her at the gate. Say I'm still sleeping. Understood, young master. Ethan Gu, you stay right there. Grace tried to say more, but I'd already taken Bella's hand and headed upstairs. Bella, let's go taste that new golden rice wine, Uncle Zhang brewed. From downstairs came a huge crash. Something must have shattered. No need to look. I knew. Our great CEO was exploding with rage. So satisfying. Watching these self-righteous clowns go mad and collapse just because I refused their script. This feeling more pleasurable than any business victory. After Grace stormed off in frustration. Sure enough, she stopped bothering me. But the apex tech crisis still buzzed in financial circles. Everyone waiting to watch the Jiu family joke, eager to see how this amnesiac family destroyer would bankrupt everything. Grace was waiting too, for me to hit rock bottom, then beg her. Too bad. I'd already disappointed her. I kept eating, drinking, and merrymaking, as usual. Even set up a social media account, named Ethan Gu. Still, not awake today. Posting exactly one photo daily. Different scenic corners of the estate. Caption always the same. Nice weather. Perfect for lying flat. At first everyone mocked me. The Jiu family about to collapse and this wastrel. Still in the mood to post scenery. Apex on the brink of bankruptcy. And he's chilling. Richest Buddha young master in history. Judgment passed. But 3 days later, a bombshell rocked the business world. Apex Tech staged an epic comeback. Core technology achieved historic breakthrough. Stock price skyrocketed 300% overnight. A mysterious buyer offered an insane acquisition price. But Chairman Ethan G. bluntly refused. No amount is enough. Not interested in negotiating. Insider sources said Chairman Gu never appeared, only issued orders through his assistant. True style of planning far ahead, deciding victory from 1,000 miles away. The news dropped. Everyone stunned, speechless. Those waiting to mock me, now faces swollen from the slap, especially Grace Liu. I could imagine her icy face twisting spectacularly. That evening Uncle Zhang reported, "Young master, everything handled as you wished." I lounged on a poolside chaise, sipping iced plum juice, not even bothering to open my eyes. The so-called tech breakthrough? I just pulled some future knowledge from my head, scribbled it on paper, tossed it to Apex's R&D. The mastermind part? Just one sentence to Uncle Zhang. That guy trying to acquire us. Bankrupt him. Uncle Zhang's efficiency never disappointed. He mobilized the Jiu family's vast underwater network. In one afternoon, the arrogant rival's capital chain snapped, forcing bankruptcy declaration. Kill the chicken to scare the monkeys. From now on, no one dared eye Apex again, and I just lounged, enjoying the sweet fruits of victory. This win, while lying down feeling, nothing beat it. My social account exploded overnight thanks to this. #Ethangus still notawake today. Somehow, shot to no one trending. My followers, from a few hundred to millions. Comments flipped 180 degrees. Holy crap. What kind of immortal boss is this? Lying flat while bankrupting rivals. This is true domineering CEO energy. Just opens his mouth. Doesn't even need to lift a finger. Bro, you still missing a decoration by your feet? The kind that massages and warms the bed. Husband, I still have a chance, right? Bella held the phone, reading comments aloud to me. Beaming. Ethan, You're really famous now. Her big round eyes curved into crescents. Fame doesn't feed me. I drawled Bella. I'm hungry. Want some osmanthus cake you make? Yes, I'll make it right now. She set the phone down, darted to the kitchen like a joyful little rabbit, watching her retreating figure. My smile deepened. Money, time, looks, body, plus a beautiful, obedient, skilled cook by my side. This slacker life was perfection. Right then, my phone rang again. I picked it up. A message from an unknown number. It's Grace Liu. Can we meet for a moment? Unprecedented politeness. Even a hint of pleading. I raised a brow, replied 2 words. Not free. Then powered off and tossed it aside. Before, when I chased her, she acted superior. Now she wants to meet? Now she's the one begging, not me. Want to see me? Depends on my mood. And my mood depends on how blissful my lying flat is. I rejected Grace Liu. But, clearly, she wasn't giving up. The next day, a gold-embossed invitation arrived at the estate. From Liu Corporation, hosting a charity business gala. Specially inviting me. Young Master, Miss Liu, said, this event will have many big shots from politics and business. Very useful for expanding your connections later. Uncle Zhang handed me the invite. Expand connections? I sneered. I need that? To me, connections just means whether others need me. As long as I'm strong enough. They'll swarm like flies to honey. Not going. I waved it off. About to continue my grand chilling career, when Bella timidly spoke. The invite says, all proceeds from tonight's auction will go to Starlight Orphanage. Starlight Orphanage. I paused. The novel mentioned. Grace Liu might seem cold outside, but inside very kind. She quietly sponsored an orphanage. Exactly Starlight. Her softest spot. The great CEO's secret. Bella looked at me expectantly. I volunteered there before. The kids are so cute, but living conditions are really tough. Looking into her clear eyes, an idea sparked. Going to the gala. Not to give Grace face, but the perfect chance to score maximum points with Bella and let Grace Liu face the harsh truth. She'd completely lost me. Since my Bella has spoken, let's go. I gently pinched her cheek, voice full of indulgence. Bella blushed instantly, murmuring protest. Don't call me so intimately. Then, what should you call me? Ethan, too distant. I shook my head dissatisfied. From now on, call me Ethan darling. Ethan darling. Her voice, mosquito small. I smiled smugly. The night of the gala, I wore a custom peak Armani suit. Bella in a moonlight white long gown. Looking pure as a descended fairy, untouched by mortal dust. The moment we appeared, we stole the entire spotlight. Man devastatingly handsome from every angle, woman, ethereally graceful. Together, a perfect immortal couple. Countless eyes turned. Shock, envy, scrutiny. The hottest gaze, from the host herself, Grace Liu. Tonight in a black strapless evening gown, arrogant and cold, like a thorny black rose. Seeing me casually arm in arm with Bella, her hand holding the wine glass, trembled almost imperceptibly. She forced composure, approached, social smile. Ethan, you're here, and this is... Her eyes locked on Bella, full of probing hostility. I ignored her. Instead, leaned down tenderly to Bella. Tired? Want something to eat first? Bella a bit nervous. Softly. Not hungry yet. Then some fruit juice. I led her straight toward the buffet area, leaving Grace Liu standing there frozen, openly displaying double standards. This was exactly the effect I wanted. I wanted everyone to see that. In my heart, Bella was the only one. As for her, Grace Liu? She was nothing more than an irrelevant passerby. Grace Liu's face instantly turned deathly pale. The guests around us also sensed something was off, and started whispering among themselves. Isn't that young Master Gu, the fiancé of CEO Liu? Why is he with another woman, don't you know? I heard young Master Gu lost his memory after the accident. He doesn't remember anyone. Only that girl over there. Is it real or fake? Then doesn't that mean CEO Liu is? Truly, the secrets of high society are deep and unpredictable. Those murmurs stabbed into Grace Liu's heart like needles. She clenched her fists tightly, nails digging deep into her palms. She couldn't understand how everything had turned out this way. She was clearly his fiancée. He had clearly obeyed her every word before. Why had one car accident changed everything? The highlight of the evening was the charity auction. I had zero interest in the first few items, until the host brought out a painting. Next item up for bid is an oil painting titled Starry Sky, created together by the children at Starlight Orphanage. Starting bid is 10,000 yuan. All proceeds will go toward renovating the orphanage. I saw Grace Liu's eyes light up. Clearly, she really wanted this painting. 100,000. A tycoon raised his paddle. 200,000. Another bidder jumped in immediately. The price kept climbing, but Grace Liu still hadn't bid. She was waiting until no one else competed before delivering the final blow. When the price hit 500,000, the room gradually fell silent. The corner of Grace Liu's mouth curved into a confident smile, certain of victory. Just as she was about to raise her paddle, I beat her to it, lazily lifting mine. 5 million. The entire hall went deathly quiet. Everyone around me looked at me like I was insane, wondering why I'd drop 5 million just for a scribbled kid's painting. Had this young Master Gu, after losing his memory, not only changed his personality, but also lost his mind completely? Even the host was stunned, stammering, 5 million yuan. Mr. Go, are you sure it's 5 million? I nodded, then turned to Bella beside me. Don't you love the kids so much? Let's buy this painting and hang it in our bedroom, okay? My voice wasn't loud, but in the pin-drop silence of the hall, every word reached everyone's ears, crystal clear. The 4 words "our bedroom" hit Grace Liu's bleeding heart like a steel hammer. Her face drained of all color in an instant. She finally understood. I wasn't bidding against her. I was publicly humiliating her, using the very thing she cared about most to win over another woman. I was standing in front of the whole world, declaring Bella's status as mistress of the house, while crushing her pride under my heel. 5 million once, 5 million twice, 5 million 3 times. Sold. The gavel fell. This ridiculous farce finally ended. Looking at Grace Liu's utterly devastated expression, I felt not a shred of pity, only an indescribable rush of satisfaction. Back then she treated me like trash, not even sparing a glance. Now I made sure she'd never reach me even if she wanted to. This was the first interest I claimed back for the original owner. The party ended. Bella and I prepared to leave, but in the parking lot, someone blocked our way. It was Grace Liu. She seemed to have been drinking, cheeks flushed pink, eyes hazy and unfocused. No trace left of her usual arrogance or icy demeanor. Ethan Gu, why are you treating me like this? She stood right in front of my car, voice choked with grievance and resentment. I frowned slightly, pulling Bella behind me protectively. Miss Liu, please, step aside. I won't. She stared at me stubbornly. Tell me why. Is it because I treated you badly before? I can change. I'll give you anything you want. Just come back to me. I burst out laughing, as if I'd heard the most pathetic joke in the world. Come back to you? Grace Liu, are you delusional? Between us, Besides that engagement contract, that can be torn up anytime. What other relationship is there? We do have one, she said frantically. We've known each other since childhood. I interrupted her coldly. And who the hell are you? The words carried zero mercy, like a sharp blade stabbing straight into her heart. Her body swayed, barely able to stand. Ethan Gu, how can you be so heartless to me? Tears rolled down her face. That fragile, tear-stained beauty would melt any ordinary man's heart. Too bad I wasn't one of them. I was a transmigrator who knew the entire script and only wanted to live a life of blissful slacking. So, I had zero interest in her deep acting tears. Right at that moment, from the other side of the parking lot, several men suddenly rushed out, wielding clubs, faces twisted with malice. Clearly no good thugs. Grace Liu, you caused our boss to go bankrupt. Today, we'll make you pay blood with blood. The scarred leader roared. I recognized them instantly. These were the underlings of the rival who'd tried to acquire Apex Tech, but got slapped into bankruptcy by me earlier. They didn't dare touch me, so they turned their sights on Grace Liu. Grace Liu froze in terror, face bloodless as she watched them charge. Bella let out a frightened scream, pressing tightly against my chest. This was the classic hero saves beauty scene. In the novel, the original owner protected Grace Liu, got his leg broken, and finally earned a bit of her goodwill. But me, I chose to pull Bella back 2 steps. Are you kidding? This golden body of mine wasn't getting hurt for anyone. Let someone else handle the rough stuff. Uncle Zhang, I called casually. The words barely left my mouth. 7 or 8 black-suited bodyguards shot out from the shadows like ghosts. In the blink of an eye, they had the thugs surrounded. Within seconds, the punks were beaten to the ground, wailing miserably. The whole process took less than 30 seconds. I didn't even bother blinking. The scarred man pinned under a bodyguard's foot, still defiant, shouted at me. Ethan Gu, you call yourself a man? Only hiding behind women and bodyguards? I strolled over, leaned down and patted his face lightly. The brain is a wonderful thing. Too bad you don't have one. I stood up, looking down at him with contempt. Problems that can be solved with money and power. Why would I dirty my own hands? That's for idiots only. With that, I ignored them completely, took Bella's hand, and headed for the car. Wait! Grace Liu called out desperately. She stood rooted in shock, staring at the thugs sprawled on the ground, then at my elite bodyguards. Her eyes filled with shock and confusion. She'd always believed Ethan Gu was just a wasteful playboy who only knew how to spend money. She never knew I had such a powerful security force at my side, nor did she expect that facing danger, I could be so calm and ruthlessly cold. That indifference terrified her more than any scolding or rage. Just now, thank you, she whispered. I wasn't saving you. I cut her off, coldly. I just didn't want your blood dirtying my car. I jerked my chin toward my Bugatti Veyron worth tens of millions. Grace Liu followed my gesture. Her face paled even further. I casually opened the car door, let Bella in first, then stepped in myself. The engine purred softly. The car shot forward, leaving a trail of white smoke, leaving only Grace Liu, standing alone in the vast empty parking lot. Night wind whipping her long dress. She looked utterly desolate and pathetic. Inside the car, Bella was still shaken, her arms still gripping mine tightly. Ethan, that was really dangerous. I gently pulled her into my arms, patting her back soothingly. Don't be afraid. As long as I'm here, no one can touch a hair on your head. She buried her face in my chest, like a little kitten, seeking absolute safety. Ethan, you're so good to me. I leaned down and placed a soft kiss on her forehead. Silly girl. Through the rearview mirror, I could still see Grace Liu's figure, growing smaller until it vanished into the night. I knew that, starting tonight, this woman's heart was completely thrown into chaos. Once a woman becomes curious about a man, that's the beginning of falling into the trap of love, and I would make her sink deeper and deeper into curiosity and unwilling until she could never climb out. After the storm at the party, my life returned to its peaceful rhythm, but the outside world was rocked by huge waves because of me. The hashtag #Ethanga still notawaka today remained insanely hot, never cooling down. Countless people flooded my personal account to snoop, and then they suddenly realized my life was their dream paradise. Waking up on a bed hundreds of square meters wide, working out in my private gym late into the morning, showing off perfect 8-pack abs. At noon, top chefs serving state banquet-level lunch. Afternoon strolling the 1,000-acre estate, walking dogs, sipping fine wine. Evenings, stargazing with a girlfriend as beautiful as a fairy. No work, no worries, no KPIs, just pure enjoyment, endless enjoyment. Damn, this is what living really means. Looking back at my own life of toil, I admit I'm jealous. I'm extremely lemon right now. We're all human, yet it's so different. I am still crammed on rush hour trains, while he lies around and pockets hundreds of billions. Young Master Gu, does your house need a gatekeeper? College-educated preferred. My lying flat philosophy accidentally sparked a new wave in society. Countless young people began rethinking life, learning to live leisurely and spoil themselves more. Even the stock price of Gu Corporation, thanks to this professional slacker chairman's personal charm, kept soaring. Truly, planting willows by accident, and they grow anyway. But I didn't care much. What I cared about more was what delicious dish Bella would cook for me today. What I cared about more was what new delicious dish Bella planned to cook for me today. Ethan, come taste the Buddha jumps over the wall I just learned. Bella, wearing a cute little apron, carried an exquisite porcelain pot, skipping out from the kitchen cheerfully, like she was presenting a treasure to me. I took one spoonful. The broth rich, the flavor heavenly, absolutely amazing. I praised without holding back. She immediately beamed, eyes curving into crescents, her smile sweeter than the full moon. Every day beside her was filled with such warmth and peace. She could be happy all day from one compliment, from one head pat. When I was working out, she'd secretly reach out to touch my abs, then pull back like she'd been burned. On stormy nights, she'd get scared, then sneak into bed, curling completely into my arms, holding me tight. She was like a little sun, warm and radiant, making even a salty fish like me who just wanted to slack feel the real breath of humanity. Our relationship grew through these sweet little moments. And of course, everything fell into the eyes of one other person, Grace Liu. She stopped contacting me directly, but secretly followed my every move. She created a burner account, becoming a die-hard fan on my page. Every photo I posted, she zoomed in, scrutinizing every detail. Seeing me enjoying wine in the garden, she'd research the bottle's origin. Seeing what Bella cooked for me, she'd painstakingly learn the recipe. Watching our pets cuddling together, her eyes would stay silent for a long time. She was like a stalker, greedily craving the happiness that once belonged to her, only to gnaw on jealousy and belated regret alone in the quiet nights. She began imitating Bella. She shed those stiff black suits she'd worn for years, replacing them with soft floral dresses. She tried hiding her cold expression, practicing gentle smiles. She even bought a bunch of cute decoration to arrange in her minimalist office, looking ridiculously out of place. She naively thought that if she just became like Bella, she could win my heart back. How laughable. She understood nothing. What I liked was never Bella's gentleness, but Bella herself. She was one of a kind. Every clumsy imitation only made her look pathetic. Truly, Uncle Zhang knew everything, and often told me like it was entertainment. Young master, Miss Liu wore a floral dress to the company today, scaring the hell out of her subordinates. I was busy enjoying the food Bella fed me, not bothering to comment. She even bought a ragdoll cat exactly like Miss Bai's, but the cat wouldn't let her hold it, and scratched her. Young master, do you think Miss Liu is possessed or something? I swallowed the last shrimp dumpling, wiped my mouth leisurely, answering indifferently. Just ignore her. She's irrelevant. Not worth our time. Yes, completely irrelevant. From the moment she looked down on the original owner, in my eyes she was already sentenced to death. Now, everything I did was simply me enjoying a leisurely, sweet. Those peaceful days didn't last long before being shattered. This time the trouble came from Ava Shen, this top A-list superstar. After tasting the fame from the amnesiac boyfriend, began fishing in troubled waters endlessly. Every few days she'd post vague, deep Weibo updates. The weather is so nice today. Suddenly remembering some idiot. Wonder if that person is doing well now. Some people, even if they've forgotten me, their shadow is still deeply carved in my heart, accompanied by selfies with red, teary eyes, making countless fans heartbroken. Hashtags like Ava Shen love, heartbreak for Ava Shen, kept dominating hot search. Her team even paid big money to buy marketing accounts, spinning a story of our deep, tragic love, turning her into a devoted girl, abandoned by an amnesiac scumbag. Immediately, public opinion shifted. Many netizens who didn't know the truth flooded my account with curses. Scumbag. Ava treated you so well. One amnesia and you want to deny everything. New love, new toy, forgetting the old one completely. Men are all the same trash. I thought you were some immortal boss. Turns out you're just garbage-chasing novelty. Bella saw those comments. Her face flushed with anger. How can they say that? You're clearly not that kind of person. She defended me fiercely, like a little hen protecting her nest. I gently pinched her nose, smiling. Don't get mad. No need to bother with those idiots. But they insulted you. It sounds so awful. Their mouths are theirs. Let them bark. My expression was completely indifferent. This kind of online violence was nothing more than an itch to me. But Bella cared deeply. She couldn't stand seeing me misunderstood and slandered by so many. That night, while I was sound asleep, she secretly logged into my account, then used it to post a photo, a close-up of our hands tightly intertwined. My hand with distinct knuckles, long and strong, hers fair, slender, small and delicate, on our fingers, matching Cartier couple rings. The classic model. The caption was just one sentence. My one and only at Bella. That's right. She even tagged her own account directly. This was the ultimate explosive public declaration of relationship, posted at midnight, like an atomic bomb, exploding the entire internet instantly. Servers even lagged for a moment. Hashtags, #ethangubella by public, ethanguani ondanly. Ava Shen is just clown. Shot to the top 3 on hot search at rocket speed. The netizens, who were just cursing me, flipped instantly. Holy shit, the man himself just confirmed it. This is the real main wife. I told you, young Master Gu's fairy taste couldn't be bad. Bella is so ethereally beautiful. So Ava Shen was just self-producing drama all along. Oh my god, drama queen of the year. Poor Ethan and Bella. Harassed by that green tea actress for so long. Anyone notice those rings? Limited edition Cartier, symbolizing eternal love. This vibe is killing me. All the money Ava Shen's team spent buying Hot Search was wiped out by Bella's single photo. In 1 second, she herself became the target of mockery across the internet. Does your face hurt, Ava? Stop acting. It's embarrassing just watching. Please, leave Ethan alone. He already has a real girlfriend. Ava Shen's comments section officially exploded. The next morning when I woke up, Bella was sitting on the edge of the bed looking nervous. Like a child who just did something wrong. Ethan, I'm sorry, I didn't ask your permission before posting. I pulled her into my arms, kissing her hair softly. Silly girl, sorry for what? You did great, but won't this cause trouble for you? Trouble? I laughed. In this life I've never known what trouble is. I picked up my phone, scrolling through the dancing comments on screen, my eyes gradually turning cold. Ava Shen. This woman has jumped around long enough. Time to shut her up forever. I called Uncle Zhang. Uncle Zhang, pass this down for me. All platforms and producers cooperating with Jiu Corporation. Immediately, blacklist Ava Shen completely. Understood, young master. I'll make sure she never raises her head in this industry again. On the other end, Uncle Zhang's voice sounded excited. Got it. He'd been annoyed by that fame-hungry actress for a while. I hung up, looking at Bella still worried in my arms. I leaned down and kissed her lips. Stop overthinking. Let's do something more meaningful. Outside, the sun shone brightly, but some actress's future had officially sunk into darkness. This was the ending for daring to provoke me. Ava Shen's downfall was faster than I expected. Just 1 day after the blacklist order, all her endorsement deals under negotiation vanished. Films already signed, all demanded contract termination, even suing her for massive compensation. Variety shows currently airing stayed up all night to cut every scene of her, as if she'd never existed. Fashion events and red carpets scratched her name from guest lists. In just 3 days, a top superstar at her peak became a rat crossing the street everyone wanted to beat, completely vanished from entertainment. This was the power of capital. And I was capital. Ava Shen still refused to accept it. She tried coming to beg me, but couldn't even enter the GU estate gate, calling me. I put her on blacklist. She even went to Grace Liu, asking for help to plead. In the end, Grace Liu coldly replied, "You deserve it. When the wall falls, everyone pushes." That's reality. After dealing with the minor nuisance named Ava Shen, my life returned to lying flat enjoyment mode. My relationship with Bella, thanks to this explosive public declaration, leveled up rapidly. She was no longer as shy as before, but began taking the initiative to eat tofu. For example, while I was reading, she'd curl into my arms like a kitten, her small hands restlessly tracing circles on my abs. Or while I was swimming, she'd suddenly hug me from behind, whispering in my ear, "Ethan, your body looks so good." Or early mornings in the kitchen, I'd pretend to fail at frying eggs. She'd wrap her arms around my waist from behind, patiently guiding my hands. Hot breath tickling my neck maddeningly. This pure angel, white as fresh paper, was being dyed black by me step by step. But I liked it. Today was my birthday. Uncle Zhang decorated the entire estate like a fairy tale, planning a grand birthday banquet. But I refused immediately. I only wanted to be alone with Bella. That evening she cooked a table full of my favorite dishes, even made an adorable birthday cake. "Ethan, happy birthday." She lit the candles, eyes sparkling in the candlelight. "Make a wish." I closed my eyes, hands clasped in prayer. Actually, I had nothing more to wish for. Everything I had now already surpassed all imagination. If I had to wish for one thing, it would be for these lying flat days to last forever. I opened my eyes and blew out the candles. Bella brought a piece of cake to my mouth. Try it. I practiced for so long. Just as I was about to open my mouth, she suddenly pulled the cake back, then leaned in close, placing a feather-light kiss on the corner of my lips. There's cream on your mouth now, she murmured, blushing. I froze, my heart skipping a beat from her teasing, looking at her shy yet playful expression. My Adam's apple bobbed uncontrollably. I'm done for. I decisively pulled her hard into my arms, gripping the back of her neck, and kissed her fiercely. This kiss was no longer gentle testing like before, but full of possession and invasion. I pried open her teeth, conquering the fortress, sweeping every sweet drop in her mouth. At first, Bella was clumsy, but quickly led by me, began responding passionately. When the kiss ended, she was limp in my arms, breathless, the corners of her eyes misty, dreamy, and irresistibly seductive. Bella Wade said hoarsely, whispering in her ear, "Don't go back tonight, okay?" Her whole body trembled slightly. Then she buried deeper into my chest, voice tiny as a mosquito. "Okay." At that exact moment, outside the window in the night sky suddenly exploded with brilliant fireworks. Uncle Zhang really understood me. Colorful lights illuminating the entire night sky, also lighting up our tightly embraced figures. I scooped her up horizontally, striding toward the bedroom. Tonight was definitely not for sleeping. The wedding night scene. This part skips 10,000 words. Bros, imagine it yourselves. The next morning, I woke up incredibly refreshed. Bella was still sleeping soundly in my arms, long lashes like two little fans, the corner of her mouth still carrying a sweet smile. I leaned down, kissing her smooth forehead. The feeling of owning her was 100 times more wonderful than imagined. I suddenly understood a little why ancient emperors would abandon the court for beauties. Truly, heroes cannot pass the beauty pass. The ancients weren't wrong. While enjoying this rare sweet aftertaste, the phone on the bedside suddenly rang, ruining the mood. I picked it up. It was Liu. This woman really was a ghost that wouldn't leave. I was about to hang up to be done with it. But after thinking, I answered, even deliberately turning on speaker. "Hello." My voice, still slightly hoarse and lazy from just waking. "Ethan Gu." On the other end, Grace Liu's voice sounded hesitant, with a hint of tension. "Are you free today? I want to talk to you for a bit." "Talk about what?" "About our future." She gathered all her courage to say it. I almost laughed out loud. Our future. She was dreaming too much. Before I could speak, Bella, in my arms, stirred, letting out a soft, coquettish moan. Ethan, don't move." She turned over, wrapping around me like a little octopus, her small face nuzzling my chest, then fell back asleep. That tiny sound transmitted clearly through the speaker to the other end. Grace Liu's voice went silent instantly. The air fell into terrifying silence. I could imagine her face right now darker than the bottom of a pot. It took a full half-minute before she asked in a trembling voice on the verge of breaking, "You and her? You two?" "Exactly as you heard." I answered indifferently, unable to hide the pleasure in my tone. "My girlfriend was exhausted last night. She's still sleeping." On the other end came rapid, heavy breathing, like a trapped beast suffocating. "CEO Liu." I switched to a polite, distant business tone. "If you want to discuss company matters, please contact my assistant to schedule in advance. As for personal matters, I don't think it's necessary. My girlfriend is a bit jealous. I don't want her to misunderstand." With that, I hung up before she could stammer another word. The world finally returned to peace. I looked down at the sleeping girl in my arms, the corner of my mouth curving smugly. To kill someone, destroy the heart. Dealing with, an arrogant woman like Grace Liu to the bone. There was no more lethal blow than now. Letting her, personally hear the man she once despised now making love to someone. This move was enough to shatter her last bit of self-respect. I wanted her to struggle in the swamp of jealousy and regret, tormented and miserable, living worse than death, yet unable to die. Meanwhile, in the chairman's office of Liu Corporation, Grace Liu sat collapsed on the floor in a daze. The phone slipped from her powerless hand, falling onto the cold tiles. Screen shattering. My girlfriend was exhausted last night. My girlfriend gets jealous easily. Ethan Gia's words echoed like a curse in her mind endlessly, each word like poisoned blades, digging deeper into her bleeding heart. She'd always deluded herself that she still had a chance. She thought if she humbled herself, if she became gentler, then Ethan Go would turn back. But she was wrong. Horribly wrong. Not only did he no longer love her, he had even crossed the final line with another woman. And she, now nothing but a ridiculous clown, still dreaming of an illusory future. Utmost humiliation and despair overwhelmed her mind. She hugged herself tightly, curling up in the corner, like a wounded lone wolf, letting out long-suppressed painful sobs. This was the first time she cried for a man, crying until her heart tore apart. I decided to flip the table completely. The truth is, I never had amnesia at all. This shocking news spread across the internet, through a live stream. That day, Bella suddenly got the urge to go live and interact with fans, showing off our daily life. I indulged her completely, so I agreed. During the live, she was like an excited child, leading everyone on a tour of our love nest, showing off all our pets, and even the dressing room and art studio I specially prepared. Fans could only scream, "Fairy tale love right here. Real-life romance drama? So jealous. When will I get a boyfriend who spoils me like this? Young Master Gu spoils his girlfriend too much. Miss Bai must have saved the galaxy in her past life." The atmosphere was sweet and heartwarming when Grace Liu suddenly arrived uninvited. Somehow, finding out, she stormed straight into the estate, ambushing right in the middle of the live stream. Appearing on camera, she looked haggard. Dark circles, obvious. Her once queen of millions aura completely gone. "Ethan Gu, come out here. I have something to say to you," she shouted at the lens. Emotions completely out of control. The chat exploded instantly. Holy crap, it's the icy CEO Liu. Why is she here? The drama queen appears. Am I really watching this free drama? She looks so wrecked. Trying to steal someone's husband? Bella was also startled, instinctively shielding me, like a little cat protecting her territory. "Miss Liu, please leave. Ethan doesn't want to see you. Get out of the way." Grace Liu shoved her aside forcefully, staring at me. "Ethan Gu, tell the truth. Do you really not remember anything? We grew up together as childhood sweethearts. We even have an engagement. Have you really forgotten all the past?" She still clung to the past, trying to awaken my memories. Looking at her stubborn, delusional state, I found it both ridiculous and a bit nauseating. This play, it was time to drop the curtain. I stepped in front of the camera, took Bella's phone, facing millions of viewers watching the live stream. I spoke calmly. "Hello everyone, I'm Ethan Gu. Regarding the amnesia and my relationships with Miss Liu, Miss Shen, and Miss Bai here, I think it's time to settle everything once and for all." My words made everyone hold their breath. Grace Liu was also stunned, staring at me blankly. I looked straight into the lens, the corner of my mouth curving into a mocking smile. First, I never had amnesia. A sentence like thunder, exploding. The live chat was immediately spammed with question marks. Grace Liu's face turned deathly pale like blank paper. I remember everything clearly. I continued, eyes shifting to Grace Liu, cold and sharp. I remember how you looked down on me, treating me like an optional accessory. I remember how Ava Shen used me, turning me into a stepping stone for her fame. And I also remember Dr. Sophia Lee, Heir, how she enjoyed my resources for her family, while acting like a pure saint in front of me. As for why I pretended to have amnesia, I paused slightly, pulling Bella, who was standing beside me, into my arms, leaning down to kiss her forehead. Because I was tired. I didn't want to continue with you all acting in those boring high society games anymore. I only wanted to live peaceful days with the person I love. So I used the simplest yet most effective way to shake off all the troubles. I looked straight into Grace Liu's eyes, emphasizing each word. Pretending to have amnesia was just to let clowns like you reveal your true selves, and then voluntarily get out of my world and be done with it. Now you've seen it. My goal is achieved. The game is over. Miss Liu, these words of mine were the sharpest sword, piercing through the disguise. And the last of Grace Liu's self-respect. She staggered back several steps, eyes empty, murmuring, "No, impossible. You tricked me." "Tricked you?" I laughed coldly. "What value do you have that I'd bother tricking? From beginning to end, you were just a self-deluded clown." In my play spurt, Grace Liu couldn't withstand this massive shock, spitting out a mouthful of blood and rage, then fell backward, fainting. The live stream chat officially exploded, everyone going crazy. This extreme plot twist left everyone stunned with jaws dropped. I calmly ended the live stream, then made a call. "Uncle Zhang, there's a woman who fainted at the gate. Call an ambulance and take her away. From now on, don't let any idle person step 1 foot near this estate again." After handling it, I scooped up the still shocked Bella, heading straight to our room. "Ethan, you." She looked at me, eyes full of complicated emotions. I hugged her tightly, silencing all the questions she was about to ask. "Don't be afraid, everything is over." Yes, everything was finally over. That tangled, messy past, those annoying, hateful people, had all become history. From this moment on, my world only had blue skies and white clouds, gourmet food, fine wine, and the one person I loved, her. My true, lying, flat life officially began now.